Quorum and the publication of proper notice.
Confirm.
All right, very good. Looks like first item on the agenda today is the election of officers for the RDC for 2025. So we'll open the floor for nominations for president. Hearing none.
Nominate Brad for president.
I second that nomination.
All right, any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. Let's have a vote. All those in favor signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, vice president. I nominate Anderson.
I second that motion.
Any others? All right. Nominations are closed. All those in favor of Anderson as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Secretary, I'll nominate Tony.
Oh,
Second.
really?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Hearing no other further nominations, let's have a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Next item, approval of the minutes of January 21, 2025. Members had a chance to review the minutes.
Yes.
Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Claims. We have the claims submitted. Claims docket of April 1st. Any questions on the claim?
I think there was only one. Nope, I was wrong. I'm sorry. No questions.
What a motion on the claim.
I'll move to approve the claims.
I'll second that.
All right. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, we've got two items of public hearing, and I guess I have a procedural question. Do we hold two separate public hearings or do we hold one?
We'll hold two, so one for each item.
Okay. All right, we have a public hearing on proposed confirmatory resolution for the Consolidated Fishers I-69 EDA consolidation with the Oleo Road I-69 EDA. Is there any member of the public here that wishes to comment on the proposed confirmatory resolution? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any discussions or comments from the members on the proposed resolution?
I think we've brought this before you guys
We discussed it.
previously.
Step two.
Yes, of combining these two economic development areas. Making that connection.
Okay. Entertain a motion on the resolution.
So moved. Aye, motion.
Second.
Those in favor of adopting the confirmatory resolution on the consolidating of two I-69 EDAs signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second item we have is a confirmatory resolution for the designation of Andretti Motorsports and NCOG Biopharma as designated taxpayers. Why don't you talk us through that?
Yes, so with these two projects, they have a significant amount of personal property that is being generated. And majority of the value of those buildings is coming from the personal property. So by designating them as taxpayers, we are now able to capture that personal property into the broader TIP. So that is part of this process.
So they don't have to pay tax on the personal property?
No, they do have to pay taxes on their personal property, but the value of the personal property, so all of the machinery and equipment that's inside of the building is so valuable, but there is revenue that we can capture from their personal property taxes to be within the TIF. So they still have to pay, NCOG has, I believe, some sort of abatement in place, but with Andretti, it's the same thing. We want to be able to capture as much as we can.
I had a quick question regarding Andretti. I'd read about the Cadillac F1.
Yes.
Are they going to be residing in the same building?
So Cadillac Formula One, the parent company is TWG Motorsports. TWG Motorsports and Cadillac Formula One will be headquartered here in Fisher. So the international headquarters will be here. because of this per cap regulations through the Formula One FIA body, you have to have very clear and distinct separations between these two organizations if they resided within the same building. So they, instead of having to sort through that, it was literally like badging in and out with certain badges of certain areas. They were able to acquire a building and sign a lease. It's the old Indy Star building. I think on the west side is where
Yes.
they were able to sign a lease there. So Andretti Global, which is part of TWG Motorsports, will be in that location for now. I don't know if their plan long-term is to be able to get into this area. We would love that, but Fishers will be home to Formula One from, again, a global brand, which is super exciting.
So we lose Andretti up here to the old,
To
Okay.
get Formula One.
yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Also, too, I will just add that project agreement is coming back around because we have to change the description of the project to accommodate this new user. But as Megan described, they can't go in the same place. And actually, the total investment in Fishers from this new use is greater than even what Andretti was going to bring.
Actually, I don't. Do we not have the third amendment on here?
We have an amendment to their pledge resolution, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's that's what you're talking about.
Is the third amendment included?
It's not.
Okay, so we'll have to bring that back before they close it in April.
Okay.
Is the reason for the separation because of the F1 requirements?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
all the per cap. And then now the parent company and the naming and ownership of all of that, that is what has to be reflected correctly in our project agreement. And as well as like the definition of the project scope, it was referring to Andretti.
Right.
So that is the change there. But I apologize. I did not send that to Kay and I should have.
And TWG is the same TWG development, correct? Different.
No. So TWG Motorsports is owned by Dan Toweris and his name's Mark Walters. So they own the LA Dodgers. I think it's Manchester United that they own. It's group 1001, so like Gainbridge.
Oh, yeah.
So it's part of a very, very, very large multi-billion-dollar company.
We ready to open the public hearing?
Sure.
I think we are. Okay, the public hearing is declared open. Members of the public who wish to comment on the proposed confirmatory resolution. Hearing no comments from the public, we'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion on the confirmatory resolution.
Approve the confirmatory resolution.
I will second that.
All right, those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, it carries. We got several items of new business. Let's go to item 8A, amendment to the Andretti pledge resolution.
So again, this is a reflection of their bond documents and the project agreement that will come back to you. And reflecting the consistency of now this new ownership group and the scope of the project to reflect Formula One's project instead of just the IndyCar Andretti Global.
Questions or comments? How about a motion on the resolution for amendment to the Andretti pledge?
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Those opposed, no. Carries. Next item is the declaratory resolution on crossing lot 3 allocation area.
Lawrence, jump in here if I butcher this, or Dustin. But as part of the union and crossing project agreement that is on here later as amended and restated, to reflect the changes of the site plan. So when we created the allocation area previously, that's being dedicated. So those proceeds from the crossing lot 3 are committed to the Union project. When we initially did that project, the boundaries of that site were different than what is actually going to be built. So the crossing allocation is just to update the correct location. Is that right, Lawrence?
Oh, yeah, just basically adding a new parcel in, like I said, as the project changed, there was a parcel that needed to be included that wasn't originally, so this is just adding that parcel in.
I think I saw that, just a little tail, right?
And while we're talking about it, then for the following item, for item C, or 05040125, that is the change there is regarding the bond structure. So before they had senior bonds and then they had a subordinate bond, and now all of that has been reflected and streamlined into really just a senior bond for the entire project.
Okay. Questions or comments on the declaratory resolution for adding crossing lot 3 allocation?
I'll move to approve the declaratory.
I'll second that.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is the resolution and amended and restated project agreement. I think you said, Megan, it's just the amending the project agreement, reflecting the addition of this new area. Any comments or questions from the members?
No, sir, I have a motion to approve.
All right, got a motion and a second. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item 8D, resolution and T&H license agreement.
I'll start on this one and then Jennifer, again, if I butcher it, please correct me. So for this building out here, so like where North Star Thai Sushi was, if you'll recall, we have a land acquisition or a lease to purchase in place for that property. So T&H Construction is the contractor and GC for the City Walk project, or sorry, City View project right next to First Internet Bank. Since it's a tight site and there's no place to stage for any sort of construction trailers, construction materials, we're requesting approval for this license for them to be able to utilize that space and pay the utilities essentially for it. You walk through the building, it's not in the best of shape. So since we're not paying a lease on it, didn't feel that it was something for us to request from them. But this helps save them some time and facilitating a whole lot of construction that's about to kick off down here.
They'll carry
That's it.
They'll carry the insurance, I assume.
Yes, they are.
Sorry, Jennifer, go ahead.
No, that's okay. All I was going to say is I don't really have anything to add. Megan perfectly summarized the deal.
Then I'll provide a motion to approve.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution and the T&H license agreement. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. This is not an action item, but I guess, Lawrence, you want to discuss the RFP annual report?
Yeah, per state statute, by April 1st, deliver a report of, revenues and expenses. Since it's a lot of stuff, I'll just kind of go over the highlights. A small positive excess this year, mostly due from when we guys sold the Mapledale land. But yeah, the report says what it is for the most part. Yeah, almost 75 to 80% of the money coming in goes to work, debt service and paying rent for the leases we have. But if there's specific questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Nope. Did another fine job this year. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this one, don't we normally have to designate that we're not going to pass any money on? Do we do that with this, or
I
that's a
believe we
separate?
did, that's a separate. I believe we already did that in February's meeting.
Yeah, I think we did. Or January's. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lauren.
I'll move to approve the annual report.
I'll second it.
All right, those in favor of approving the annual report for 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. All right, next item is a pledge resolution on the Fishers Senior Union bond.
Dustin, I'll let you take this one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, commissioners. So as we kind of touched on earlier in the declaratory resolution related to the crossing lot 3 allocation area, the city is working through approving the financing of an incentive for the Union project there around the event center facility. Incident to that financing, there is going to be a pledge of revenues from 4 allocation areas sort of directly tied to the project, and then a limited pledge of revenues from the yard allocation area, which is a prior existing allocation area kind of in this portion of the city. All of which the revenues from all of those areas, both the new Union and then additional crossing allocation areas, and then that limited pledge of funds from the yard allocation area will be used to pay the debt service on the senior bonds for the Union project, which Megan had touched on. So what this resolution does is it walks through that you've created those allocation areas, and it walks through the terms of the pledge of the revenues from each of the Union allocation area, the crossing lot 3 allocation area, crossing lot 5 allocation area, crossing lot 6 allocation area, and then a limited pledge of up to $500,000 per year insofar as it's available of revenues from the yard economic development allocation area. And then it provides for certain limited tests related to future uses of those revenues, which is standard for a pledge of revenues for this purpose. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, those in favor of adopting the pledge resolution on the Fisher Senior Union bonds, say aye.
Aye.
Carries. Next item. Resolution accepting property transfer.
Jennifer, I'll let you summarize this one again for the group.
Thank you, Megan. All right, so this is a transfer of slightly over a 1/10 of an acre of real property in the Luxhaven subdivision from the city, who is the current owner, to the Redevelopment Commission for the purpose of then selling this property for its fair market value to the neighboring property owner out at Luxhaven, who has requested to purchase this property. State statutes were followed concerning appraisal requirements. And again, the property owner who desires to purchase the property is paying the fair market value as listed on the appraisal, which was $7,000. This property in its entirety sits in a flood zone, a floodplain, and it's not developable. So I'll take any questions that you have. All right, and this resolution approves both the acceptance of the property as well as the transfer to the neighboring property owner.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor of adopting the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Carries. Last item on the new business is the Coverdale resolution and sublease.
Yes, so in the Meyer Najum building, we have a master lease for that entire second floor of the building where we're responsible for placing tenants and and so we have a financial commitment on that one. Coverdale Consulting has been operating, I believe, in the first floor of that building for some amount of time. But Rachel Coverdale has outgrown that space. And so Meyer Najum was using the upstairs space up until a month or so ago. And so now they are swapping those locations. So Meyer Najum will go back downstairs and Coverdale Consulting will take the remainder of that first floor space. So it's about 2,400 square feet, $22 full service, which again is great for us to be able to support an entrepreneur and somebody who's expanding. And we've put in a 3-year term here, plus an extension for an additional 2 years, which I believe then gets us to the end of our master lease commitment in 2030, which is super exciting. Happy to answer any questions.
Yes, quick question.
Yes.
I work with her husband. Is that a problem for me to vote on?
I don't think so, since,
I'm not directly related to her at all.
no.
You know, in financial relationship with the company.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Questions, comments on the proposed sublease? Approval of it?
Motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Those in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries. Any other new business?
No.
No. Motion to adjourn? We're good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.